Wealth disparity is most notably measured using the distribution of income and the distribution of wealth. Wealth disparity is nothing new to Texas, and in the 1990s, Texas tried to fix the wealth issue with Robin Hood laws. The Robin Hood plan was to provide court-mandated equitable school financing for all school districts in the state. However, wealthy school districts were not on board and abolished it. And now, there is an inequality in education for Texas students. In Texas, when we compare the spending per student by school districts to the rest of the nation, major cities like Houston, Austin, Dallas, and San Antonio spend far less than the national average. In fact, Texas ranks 36 nationally in per student education spending. Texas school districts get their revenue from local property taxes and state funding. In 2017, when comparing property wealth in Texas school districts, there was over $1 million gap between the poorest 10% of districts and the wealthiest 10% of districts. So what does this mean for Texas school districts?
Well, this means that some school districts in Texas have a lot of funds and access to materials like technology equipment, extracurricular activities, school counselors, and nice landscaping, and some schools don't. Public education is primarily funded by local property tax revenue, and lawmakers can decide on any other source of money to replace it. Wealthier school districts have homes and businesses within their boundaries that are more valuable, generally taxing at lower rates. Poorer school districts often tax at much higher rates. Poor funding doesn't just impact students. In the state's poorest schools, fewer teachers reported having access to technology or support from the school to incorporate it into classrooms. This makes it difficult for teachers to use even the free resources to keep students engaged.
In fact, 1 in 4 students from lower income communities did not participate in a single sport, club, or art program due to one contributing factor: school activities cost too much. The average annual cost per student was $302 to play sports, $218 for art programs, and $124 for student clubs. On top of fees for traveling and lunch programs, you can imagine why poor school districts do not provide as many extracurricular activities and technology resources. But the wealth disparities don't stop there. Schools with the wealthiest students tend to get the most experienced teachers, and many times, low-income schools can't afford experienced staff such as counselors, special education teachers, and ESL teachers. This is unfair and makes it difficult for children in low-income communities to get the same education as kids in wealthier schools.
The wealth disparity in Texas school districts has created a significant inequality in education. Students that come from low-income communities have less opportunities to be successful than students from wealthy communities. A student's background should not be an indication of what resources and opportunities they are presented for their future.
It comes down to this: all students should have equal access to high education and resources to be successful, and no teacher should have to worry about having enough resources to teach their students.